As a perfectionist, one of the challenges that we face is how we deal with, absorb, and what we do with feedback. And this is a tough one for us because um, it depends on what you hear, And I think predominantly most perfectionists can hear, of 10 pieces of feedback, they'll hear nine positive and one negative, and that's the one you focus on. Someone can give me 10 compliments and, sorry, nine compliments, one complaint, and I will focus on the complaint. I can't help it. That's the detail that I notice is the negative stuff. The critique, the criticism. I don't see the stuff that's gone right. I only see the stuff that's gone wrong. And for most accounting students and most students that I know, this is a problem. Feedback is a dangerous thing. They're more likely to focus on things that they're not doing and feel bad about them. Yes, you need to do stuff about them. You need to pay attention to them and do stuff about them, but you can't focus on them to the point where it makes you feel like you can't do this. It's all encompassing and it's the only thing that you notice. Coupled with that is how you deal with and what you do with criticism. So what do you notice? Generally, perfectionists will notice the negative things more, and they'll hold on to that and absorb that, and that's a bit of an indication that you may be a perfectionist. But how do you deal with criticism? When a lecturer tells you that you've got something wrong and this is how you need to deal with it, or this is what you're doing wrong, it's extremely hard to take. It feels like an attack. It feels negative. Like it feels very uncomfortable to have someone tell you this is wrong. This is not what you should be doing. Why are you doing it this way? Why aren't you doing it the way that I told you? Whatever the case is. The reality is that, in order to pass, you need to pay attention to that criticism and you need to deal with it. But how do you deal with that? If you fold up and sort of disengage from the person giving you the criticism, you're never going to learn. Yes, you need to identify and differentiate between constructive criticism and destructive criticism. But for perfectionists, that's pretty hard to do because when we get criticized, we kind of get lost in white noise. There's so much noise going on in our head that we can't really see the wood for the trees. We can't really be objective about it. All that's going on in my head is this loud, you're not good enough, you don't know what you're doing, you're stupid, how could you do this? This is so embarrassing, this is so terrible, this is so shameful, disappointed everyone. And there's so much of this negative voicing going on in your head that you're not actually able to step back and go, that's an interesting point. Actually, that is a better way to do it. And yeah, that is actually true. That's exactly what I did. I need to not do that next time. So how we deal with criticism and how we deal with feedback is incredibly important because we only learn when we do get feedback. We only learn from criticism, constructive criticism, obviously, and even destructive criticism, depending on what we do with it and depending on what we decide to do with it. And if you're not able to absorb that, if you feel attacked by it and that's all you can focus on, then you're going to be in trouble. And hand in hand with this is that the more you're worried about feedback and the more you're worried about criticism, the less likely you are to ask questions when you're not comfortable because you don't want to know the answer. If you submit a question to your lecturer or you submit an assignment and you get it wrong and they tell you that you don't know what you're doing, if you can't deal with that, then you'd probably rather not submit the assignment. You won't submit an attempt and a practice question to your lecturer because you don't want to feel stupid and you don't want to get that feedback from them and you're nervous about the feedback, and so therefore you just don't submit the question to them. So if you're not worried about feedback, if you're comfortable with yourself, then you'll ask questions. If you're comfortable with who you are and like, yes, I need to learn and I don't know anything when I start off with, and give me criticism. Tell me what I'm doing wrong so that I can fix it. Then you're not really worried about asking questions. You'll happily ask questions. Go, I don't understand. This is what I've tried. Tell me why I'm wrong here. Tell me where I'm going wrong. As a perfectionist, I don't want to ask the question, where am I going wrong? Because I don't want to hear the answer. I feel bad enough as it is. Like, I really don't actually want to hear the answer. I may voice that because we know you have to voice it, but I don't actually want to hear it. And when I do hear it, I'm going to start panicking and I'm going to disengage because I'm feeling so negative and so bad about myself that I'm not actually absorbing information.